Good evening, everybody. This is Xiao-Fury, and today I want to talk to y'all about, video game violence. As many of you know, United States is in a sad state of affairs right now because of the mass shootings, and they're getting worse. It's a sad era we live in. But recently, our president, President Trump, made a statement that has gotten a lot of people upset, particularly in the video game world. And I believe the statement, to paraphrase, was about, you know, confronting video game violence as it might be a trigger or maybe a reason why some of these shooters are doing what they're doing. And of course, many people say that, it's not a very smart thing to do to attack video games and the violence that's in some of these games. And now I'm going to share my 2 cents about it, if you will. I mean, look, we know that violence in video games has always been a thing. Most notably Mortal Kombat, because of all their fatalities. And, well, if you've played Mortal Kombat, and I have, I'm not going to be a hypocrite here. Yes, it was gross. And because I've seen it so much, I became desensitized to it, I'll admit. Now, nowadays, I really don't play much of anything. But, to go back to the point, Mortal Kombat is just one of the infamous games to poke at when it's coming to violence. And now we have so many more video games today. And yes, they're violent. Just the games that I know of. Say, Resident Evil 5 and, all of these first-person shooters. It deals with people being gunned down. Violent, yes. But are they responsible for what's going on today? I'm going to personally say yes and no. And here's why. To use a different example, because one of the arguments is that video games just can't do this. They can't make a person go on a mass murdering spree. But here's my issue with that argument. Okay, we know about Final Fantasy Remake, and what I'm about to talk about is kind of goofy, but I'm going to say it anyway. People were complaining about Tifa's bosom size. They were saying that she was censored, and they're not as large as they were in the PlayStation 1 version. Now, me being a female, I kind of don't care. And personally, I thought her bosoms kind of looked stupid. And she's this little stick girl with these giant balloons on her chest. I mean, I'm sorry. I always thought it looked kind of dumb on her. But, I'm a female, so that's just how I view another woman sometimes. Sorry, it's just a female to female thing. I'm not trying to look at another woman's breasts. But when news got out about Tifa's bosom being censored, there was an outcry. And why am I bringing this up? It's because my example is this. If a man can be, aroused by what he sees in a video game, in this sense, or in this case, a female and her 2D water bags, then wouldn't it be fair to say that, well, someone could possibly be tempted, or I don't know if aroused is the right word to use in this situation, to do something evil like murder? Y'all get what I'm saying, I hope. It's just that, again, and for a female, when I see male characters that actually look desirable, then, I will be aroused too. So this isn't just, a man thing. But again, it's just, y'all, if we can get sexually aroused then why can't we get, and I'm not saying this to support it, but why can't a person actually emulate violence what he see in a video game? And I know a lot of people say, well, it's because of mental illnesses or it's because of something going on in that person's life. And I can actually agree with that. Because, yes, as I said, I've played Mortal Kombat. I've played shoot 'em up games and games with gore. And, looking back, I kind of don't want to play those type of games anymore. But, beside the point, excuse me, it's just, I think the argument is kind of weak. I'm sorry. Look, today's video games are not like the games that I used to play. I personally think that today's video games are too dark. And I know I'm not trying to sound like the SJWs, but, if we can be honest, video games have evolved very greatly, especially graphic-wise. And I can't really say that video games are not a culprit, because the idea to me is that they can be. They really can be. And, y'all can feel free to argue my point, because I don't have any statistics to prove what I'm saying. So I guess you can go ahead and say that this is just my opinion. Fair enough. But I just think it's also just not a good idea to completely say that video games can't have an effect on people. Because again, as I used the example with, arousal. Obviously, when we see things that looks good, we're going to stick to it. And some people do have some very sick minds, and they might get encouraged by video game violence to do what the game is, suggesting. Even though in the video game, I don't know, I'm just going to call out Call of Duty or whatever. There's a mission on there, and I don't really play Call of Duty much, but I think the idea on those games is you're the good guy and you got to stop the bad guys or something like that. So usually these type of video games are saying, this is good versus evil. But obviously, in this fallen, sick world we live in, people can take a good thing and turn it into wrong. Obviously, like buying a gun just to mow down people. That's evil. So, before I go any further, that's just my opinion and 2 cents on the matter. For future videos, when I get the equipment to do the stuff, I'll have statistics to back up my point of view. But, I'm just saying. If you want to comment below, that's fine. Just be respectful. Don't be a jerk, because I'm probably not going to deal with it. I will probably delete it. That's just the way I roll. So, tell me what y'all think. And on that note, God bless you, and we'll talk later.